the number of gasoline cars?
Significant problem. You're going to have to repeat it because I was on the wrong channel.
one more, please. Okay.
In Japan, there are much more gasoline cars than electric vehicle cars. So it's still the initial stage of electric vehicles. Well, in Japan or in the world, in how many years do you think the number of electric vehicles will exceed the number of gasoline cars?
The first question is, when do you get to a year in which you sell more electric cars than gasoline cars in that year? And my belief is that somewhere between 2015 and 2020, you would get to a point where in countries where the infrastructure is in place, and this is key, if the infrastructure is not in place, you won't see this adoption. But in countries where the infrastructure is in place, the shift will happen within somewhere around 2015 to 2020. Now, some countries will go faster. All right? I'll give you an example. In Israel, we're already seeing faster adoption and market acceptance of electric cars due to the process that we have done together with Renault-Nissan of educating the market. And so most people are now saying that they will not buy another car if it's not electric in Israel. Right? We have more people that are saying, I will only buy an electric car as my next car. I won't even evaluate a gasoline car anymore. That's a preceding signal to probably about 3-4 years from now. You'll see that kind of tipping in Israel. Now, in other countries, government incentives, for example, China, will push the market. And China is doing a very aggressive incentive plan. On the one hand, $9,000 incentive for a car. Think of $1,000,000 yen incentive and the effect it has on a Chinese car, on a Chinese manufacturer. On the other hand, some of the major cities are not allowing gasoline cars to come into the city for 1 day a week. So you need to choose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. One of the days you're not allowed into the city with a gasoline car. And what I can guarantee you is the minute electric cars would show up, they'll tell you that it's 2 days. And then it'll be 3 days, and then there'll be 5 days, and then you won't have a choice. Now, part of it is our belief that the Chinese government wants to create an electric car industry faster than the normal process in the market. And as a result of that kind of an incentive plan, they will push. Now, other countries may decide to push ahead of the Chinese market. Other countries may decide to wait for it. I do not recommend waiting for the Chinese. It's not a prudent strategy, by and large, in any market.
NHK の金木。
My name is Kanehiro from NHK. Mr. Agassi, the source of revenue for your business, you used the analogy of cell phones, but if you could give us a updated version, will it be from subscription fees, the business model, if you could update us on the most recent view?
If you want to think about it, we sell a commodity, a service, that is one that most of you buy every day. It's called kilometers. Right? You buy it in the form of a liquid called gasoline, but what you really buy is kilometers. And if you think of the 10 most profitable companies on earth, probably 7 of them are in the business of selling kilometers. They just think they're in the business of digging holes in the ground, but they're really in the business of selling kilometers. What we found out is that there is a more sustainable model, business model, an environmental model, to selling kilometers. You see the best form of it in front of your eyes right now. It's the combination of these batteries and the electrons that come from the panel on the outside of this tent. The combination of clean electrons and exchangeable batteries creates a kilometer that roughly costs about 5 cents, $5 to produce. Now, if you go outside here and go into a gas station, you would see that you're paying for that liquid, proxy to kilometers, about 120 yen per liter, which means you're paying about 10 cents a kilometer even if you're driving a very efficient car. So on today's scale of today's technology, there is a margin of about 50% for selling clean kilometers instead of dirty kilometers. I would call it a great business plan. And if you think of the market, if you think of the largest companies on earth, Exxon, Chevron, BP, the 6 or 7 out of the top 10 in Fortune are in the kilometer business. So are we. We're just the smallest one. Thank you all very much. We're going to need to leave, reshuffle this room to a reception, and come back in 10 minutes. On on your way outside, there are charge spots, more explanation. We'd love to talk to you outside, but we really need to clear up the room and come back in 10 minutes. Thank you all very much. The machine will still be here, and much like robots, they don't stop. They just keep on going. So it's going to go on till the middle of the evening tonight.